Welcome everybody, Grand Arena Championship Season 2, Round 1. I'm back at it, taking a look at an Autoset defense. Biggest challenge here is this high relic rank Jedi Knight Revan and Grandmaster Yoda combo. Knowing my Gear 8 GK is a little squishy, I like to take him out and bring in Grand Admiral Thrawn and hope he doesn't get direct focus off the start because he does have the speed advantage. Thankfully, Bastila takes the direct focus, does his usual spread of buffs, and then I start focusing down Grandmaster Yoda. I'm hoping for the best here, hoping that Thrawn goes before his Bastila. So I'm looking to fracture Grandmaster Yoda with his 11,000 special damage. It's absolutely going to hit like a truck. Alright, working out so far. Now I just got to eat through Savior. I got to kill Grandmaster Yoda twice. As I'm doing this, I'm uncertain as my Savior gets procced and Grandmaster Yoda gets fully healed back up. I'm uncertain if he'll shed the fracture entirely, but that's not the case. He will not. The biggest concern there is as I kill him for the Savior, he automatically fills up his turn meter. However, he cannot take a turn with fracture, so it is not a factor. Now I just got to kill him one more time. If I get past Grandmaster Yoda, I'm feeling pretty confident. Almost thought about burning a direct focus here to make sure he goes down, but try my luck with a basic and get the job done. Then they finally mark Thrawn, and he goes down pretty quickly. So luck of the draw there. Glad they went for Bastila first instead of Thrawn, because it would have been extremely detrimental to my efforts. All right, now I'm just trying to thin out the herd here as fast as possible. Asajj hits pretty hard. She also goes down pretty quickly. Next up is Mother Talzin. And then I can work on his Revan. Even though I finished down one for this fight, I call it a success just because those relic levels were so high. This is his Jedi Knight Revan and Grandmaster Yoda are part of his arena squad, so he's got his best mods. And I got lucky the fact that we had 2 Night Sisters in there, 53 banners. Next up is this weird combination. Absolutely no synergy. Not a lot of DPS. But I like to bring in my Empire squad. Deciding who I want to bring with it. Consideration will be a crew for that 2-turn stun and the taunt. However, I don't want to take them away from my Darth Treya squad. So just bring in some extra DPS plus the cleanse and Ezra, and just start going to work. Get the Palpatine turn meter train rolling, ability block Thrawn, and take down Sion as fast as possible. Don't want to let him get his held by hatred off and just complicate the problem that much more. Ezra's just here for the DPS. I'm trying to decide who I think would assist the most, do the most damage. I like to go for the ability block. Works out. His Scion isn't too tanky, isn't very tanky for my squad. Ability block Boba so he can't annihilate anybody. And now we're on to Thrawn, hoping to stop him from getting a fracture off and slowing down the turn meter train. It's a good turn meter swap. The execute goes off, but Vader survives. Ability block doesn't work very well. And back to an extremely tanky Thrawn. Does get the fracture, but he chooses to go after TIE Fighter pilot, so RNG is on my side once again. And I continue whittling away. He does run Thrawn as his 5th in his arena squad, so it looks like he's got the Jedi Knight Revan counter to Darth Malak set up. I believe next I go after Jolie as HK stunned. And it doesn't look like his Boba does that much damage, so I'm not worried about any executes at this point. Again, nothing really fancy or special here. I probably could have went undersized, but I want to make sure I get the full clear. I only got 5 offensive squads. Down goes HK, and just a quick cleanup on Boba. It's good to be back in the fold here. I was away for 3 weeks. Thankfully, my kid helped run the account and kept me in pretty good shape. I think I've got about 500 Mark III Kerbanis that I'm working on finding homes for. All right, top front cleared. Take a look at the back. I could have just looked at the squad and know exactly what's going to be back there, but I didn't feel like planning that hard against a Autoset defense. It's an interesting combination here. We've got a little Sith, Bosk, and CLS. I like to bring my bugs just as I continue to enjoy playing them. Going in, a kind of mindset is to ability block the Taunter, since he does have the double Zetas, I believe. And then I want to ability block Palpatine so he doesn't get the AoE stun. Ability block Nihilus so he doesn't cooldown decrease and get his Annihilate ready. And then I believe we go after CLS to make sure he can't use his second special and then ignore taunt. Not that it's really a big deal. On the Palpatine, that AoE stun is going to hurt us the most out of anything. Real quick work of him. Then we don't want to taunt. Even though he's ability blocked, he's not as tough as most Bosks, so he goes down pretty quick. Next up is CLS. And provide that turn meter. Yep. Ability block Malice. Can't get that cooldown reduction. Back on the CLS. Overall, the things I've done with the account when I got back based on the added gear stockpile and Omega stockpile that my kid was able to get for me, I did push CLS up to gear 11. I pushed Bastila to gear 13 and got her Relic level 1. After the character lock for this, I did get Darth Revan to gear 13 and got him Relic 2. However, I don't know if I'll push him very high because, as you can see, my opponent has high Relic levels on his Jedi Knight Revan, and it's really kind of thinned his squad out because he's so top heavy. And so I'm going to kind of see how it goes over the next couple weeks before I go really Relic heavy. Now I'm working on my undersized squads here. It also kind of a side effect. I got CLS to gear 11, and now he's no longer the weakest guy on my Rebel squad, so Chewie's guard went over to R2. Thankfully, I found that out in Territory Wars instead of here. So I like to take R2 out for the undersized squad and get the guard back on CLS with Big still holding the edge on him. Standard name of the game when I play on my Rebels is just crowd control. Pass stuns around, try to prevent people from doing damage. Though I think I lose track of Tarkin, and eventually he will get an AoE off, and that's bad on me. I should go after him here, remove that turn meter with Han's basic. I should have stunned him there. Still don't work. Hasn't used it yet, but it'll come back and haunt me eventually. There it is. Everybody loses a good amount of their protection. Now I'm going after Hermit Yoda to try to regain that protection. Since I got Chewie's Zeta, gained 3% back on the guarded characters every time he attacks or uses a basic. By the end, I think I get CLS back up, and I think I get credit for Han being full health and protection, even though he's not quite there from my eyes. All right, last squad. Bring in an undersized Traya squad. The only synergy here is Zombie and Initiate, so I'll just have to play outright when it comes to using Scion to clear the stealth and get our Nihilis's Annihilate to go. I'd like to take out Wampa. Probably could have used him for AoE instead of Kylo, but I figured I'd go for the 2-turn stun to just help a little lockdown with what we got. Pretty standard, straightforward here. Cooldown's reduced. AoE. Just noticed that looks like my Nihilus is a little faster than my Scion, so I'm going to have to tweak the mods just a little bit in case I fight somebody that has a whole bunch of Foresight. Alright. Again, put Isolate on Zombie so it keeps the taunt off of him and allows me to use my 2-turn stun on Ezra. He's kind of, I guess the Night Sister Initiate does some pretty good damage, but then I go after a TIE Fighter pilot because he's just squishy. Should go down pretty quickly. At this point, I should have Annihilate up, and I just elect to take out Darth Treya. Just because probably the largest health pool that I can annihilate. And Ezra should be somewhat squishy. Focus him down next. Waiting on the next Annihilate. Is held by Hatred, so that will save Scion from dying. Really, I should have did the cooldown reduction, used her Isolate again on Zombie to regenerate protection and reduce some of these cooldowns, specifically Nihilus or Scion, because I need to get the stealth off of Initiate before I can actually kill her. Just going basics here, just trying to time everything up based on when Scion gets his AoE and Nihilus be the next one to go, or at least make sure Zombie doesn't go between the two of them. Save the cooldown reduction, I'm not too worried about it. See, this is where I should have used the Isolate again, reduce Scion's cooldowns, and I'm just dragging it out longer than necessary. I know I got 3 minutes, so I'm not too worried. I finally get that bonus protection. I see that Nihilus is next. Down he goes, and we finish it off. So I get the full clear. Again, not necessarily anything to be overly proud about with an auto set defense. However, I think I averaged 56 banners and a win in the first round. So it's on to round 2. Next opponent. Go collect our feats here real quick and get an update on our position, our status. Every time you go to overview after collecting something, it doesn't fully update the position. So you usually go to leaderboards. It will usually show the truth here, but it doesn't this time until I backed all the way out somewhere in the 700s. Thanks for watching.